All right. So, welcome to this full moon in Cancer for a weekly reading of December 27th, well, actually December 28th to January the 3rd. So, I apologize for this weekly reading being a bit late since it was the Christmas holidays and it was quite busy and I had to catch up on a lot of things. But I didn't want to dismiss this, so I still want to do the weekly reading. So to see what's coming forth for everyone this week. Now, this week is there's a full moon happening around December 29th to December 30th. So I kind of want to talk about the full moon and kind of talk about it being in the sign of Cancer. Okay, so we are having a full moon in Cancer on December 29th to December the 30th. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read a little bit about it here. It's really interesting. So, okay. So it's the last full moon of the year. It falls in the sign of Cancer on December 29th to the 30th, depending on your time zone. The Cancer full moon is watery and emotional, but also very cleansing. Allow any emotions to wash over you like a wave. Feel yourself softening and strengthening all at the same time. Allow whatever needs to flow, but know you have the power to also let it all go. Leave the heavy baggage of the past. Restore and renew under this final full moon, right? It is the last full moon of the year of 2020, right? Under this clearing and cleansing energy, it is also a great time to think about what you wish to leave behind in 2020. What are you surrendering in 2020? Okay, so I'll leave a link below if you want to take a look at that. That's from an Instagram post, and I like it. I just like the message about leaving the heavy baggage of the past, right? And kind of starting anew, right, in this 2021. And well, the baggage I can feel like perhaps situations from the past, because it is a sign of Cancer, probably relating to your roots, where you grew up, right? Where you were raised. So all that affects you right now in the present. So you perhaps dealing with relationship issues with your own mother, perhaps, or relationship issues with a maternal figure. It doesn't have to be a mother, or dealing situations from where you grew up, right? Because it is your roots. It is where you were raised, right? So these are all baggages that we may carry from the past. And I think this full moon, what I feel is that this full moon in Cancer is going to help heal all that, heal all those wounds, so we can start something new. So, okay, something more healing, okay, for us. So that's the message I got from this post. Now, it's interesting because the full moon is actually, well, not the full moon, but the Cancer, the full moon being in Cancer means a lot to me, actually, because in my birth chart, actually, in my natal birth chart, I do have the moon in Cancer, and I also have, well, yeah, I have Leo in my, I have the sun in Leo, sorry. So I have the sun in Leo, and I have the moon in Cancer. I mix them up all the time. So that for me is like, it's very strong for me because I do have a strong Cancerian side in me. So it's all about, and Cancer signs are all about motherhood, right? Being nurturing, being kind of like being that maternal figure for you, right? And it's such a struggle for me because for me it was well, from my, in terms of my father's side, my father was a great paternal great paternal but maternal figure at the same time. So he was a very great maternal figure, and maternal figures and your roots, where you were great, where you were grown up, are so important because it's like your security, it's your nest, right? So it's very difficult to deal with the energies of the full moon in Cancer when we have lost our nest, right? So when we feel like we have no nest to go to, that can be very challenging, right? And it can be quite a very strong void, internal void you can feel. And because it is actually where you go to when you have nowhere else to go, right? It's where we want to feel safe and secure. So that's what the full moon in Cancer is bringing us back to those moments where we can revisit the past or visit our parents for the holidays, let's just say, or any family members that make us feel safe and secure where we grew up, right? So these are where your roots are, right? The Cancerian is the home, is where the nurture is, right? It is the house of the crab, right? The mother crab, right? Or father crab, right? So it doesn't have to be a mother figure that shows this maternal feeling or safety in your home, but it can also be a father figure that can be very maternal, right? In my case, my father was a very maternal, and he was a sign of Cancer. So when we feel like we've lost our nest, it's very difficult to kind of rebuild a new nest, right? But during the past 6 months, and I saw this from an astrologer, and she mentions it, is that in June, I believe it was in June of 2020, there was a solar eclipse, actually, solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer, new moon in Cancer. And that actually opened a portal. And it opened a portal for the past 6 months. So from there to right now, she mentioned, which is tomorrow, the full moon. So from there, from the new moon of the solar eclipse to the full moon in Cancer, because they were both in the sign of Cancer, there was a portal opening. And so it's interesting because in my whole journey from June 2020 to right now, December 2020, there was drastic changes in my life for 6 months. I felt like I rebuilt my nest, right? So it was all because of this portal opening from the sign of Cancer. So the Cancer enhanced that energy and helped me. In my case, this is just my personal story. Helped me rebuild my nest. Helped me basically be my own Cancer, my own maternal figure in my own home. So basically bring my own roots, birth it basically, right? And create my home as a crab, right? So it means a lot because I do have such a strong sign and such a strong Cancerian in me in the sign of in the house of, where the moon is. So when the moon in the house, sorry. Basically where the oh my gosh, I can't talk because my mind is like jittering. But I have such a strong Cancerian sign, so, and I feel like I need to resolve that internally, right? So that is really affecting me at the moment. But I feel like throughout the 6 months, I was able to heal that. And thanks to this portal opening from starting in June of 2020 to December of 2020, right? And we're ending it, and it's the last full moon of the year too. So whatever experiences you guys have, you reflect on that and see what kind of changes have happened in your home, in your nest, in regards to your mother, in regards to your family, where you grew up, visiting maybe your childhood past, anything that reminds you of the past, of where you were raised, what kind of changes you have gone through from since June to now, right? Because this energy probably helped us to rebuild something new, right? Because we are going through a lot of new beginnings. We are in, it was Aquarius, 0 degrees, so we are birthing something. So this is basically the mother birthing a new baby in this new era of the age of Aquarius. So what are we birthing now, right? This is the new beginning. And that's an example of mine, of what I'm birthing, right? What I set out to put my roots in, right? So that's what the full moon in Cancer is all about. So I'm going to read a little bit about it, okay? So, all right. So let's read. So this is from Moonology, Working with the Magic of the Lunar Cycles. If you guys want to get this book, I highly recommend it. It's perfect for full moon readings and getting in tune with that energy, right? Now we are in the full moon in Cancer, so let's read about that. So, all right, so these are some examples of how you can relate to that Cancerian energy into your life at the moment and what we're going to go through, in this coming week in terms of the full moon energy in Cancer, in the sign of Cancer. Okay. All right. So it says here, after the carry on of the past few days, the world breathes a sign of relief as the moon moves into home-loving Cancer, right? So it's all about the home. This is a day to retreat to the bosoms of your family, or at least to be at home. The vibe mellows and suddenly domesticity, I can't talk today, beckons. It's a day to feather your nest. Sort out your home if it's in a bit of a mess. Clear up, clean up, and do the washing. Have friends or family over to enjoy a good meal. Cancer loves food. I've been baking the whole week. This is what I mean. If you find yourself giving in to the slightly insecure Cancer vibe, have a word with yourself. A Cancer moon day is a wonderful time to work on your doubts and fears. Don't scuttle away under a rock. Work out what's worrying you. This is also a good day to show someone your soft underbelly. Don't be too hard-headed. The moon in Cancer is also good for baking, see, staying in and getting cozy, spending time with loved ones, coming up with a dynamic plan. The Cancer energy is also very entrepreneurial. So Cancer energy is not good for being detached, aloof, and emotional. Okay, and also spend time with kids you adore. So these are the things you must do, is spend time with your kids or kids you adore. Be hospitable. Take time out. So, and these are the things you should not do, is drag yourself to any place you don't feel like going unless you totally have to. Okay, so that's another Cancerian energy. So yeah, that's what I mean, is like it's like being at home, being cozy, and it's enhancing that energy, or visiting your family members or your parents, or going back to where you grew up. So that's all Cancerian energy. In my case, I've been baking. I've been trying to make my home very comfortable and cozy as well. So it's like that's all Cancerian energy. That's like a very maternal, motherly kind of essence, right? And you're trying to form that home. You're trying to bring your roots. In my case, creating my own roots, right? So whichever relates to you. That's just an example of my situation in regards to what's happening with me with the full moon in Cancer, right? But everybody has their different stories, and everybody has different experiences in regards to this energy. So that's one example. So those are the things we should do, is spend time with our families during the full moon in Cancer, and interact with children as well. Interacting with children is important, right? It brings out that maternal nurturing side of us, right? And or spending it with somebody who has that nurturing maternal energy, right? To heal you and to make you feel secure in your environment, right? So that's the energy of that full moon in Cancer as well, okay? And a time to make your own home or space very comfortable and very nurturing and very cozy, and start baking. In my case, I'm baking a lot, so which is not good. So, okay. Now I want to read a little bit more about it. So, full moon in Cancer. This full moon is especially good for Taurians, Cancerians, Virgos, Scorpios, Capricorns, and Pisceans, but it's more challenging for everyone else. So basically, the earth signs and the water signs have it good for this full moon in Cancer, right? And the rest of the signs will find it a little bit challenging, right? Because it is a lot of water, right? Okay, the energy is dependent and possibly needy, right? Because we're more vulnerable in this sign because Cancer has a lot of emotions, has a lot of nurture, needs to feel that love, right? So we tend to want to be dependent on others or possibly needy, right? We need that attachment, right? So that's the energy. The top 5 questions to ask yourself during these times, during the full moon, is: have I been insecure, clingy, and no fun this month? Have I been coming at what I want sideways instead of tackling it head on? Have I been sulky, moody, brooding, or manipulative? So these are kind of like the negative parts of the Cancerian, the full moon in Cancer, right? So we have to have a balance at both. So what I just read before was more like the positive traits of the full moon in Cancer. And these can be the negative traits, right? So we have to learn to balance that part of our emotions, or else the waters can really flood, right? So we have to control that water. So number 4, have I been secretive and possibly even a tad paranoid? And number 5, have I had enough family time or time with people who feel like family? So that's important too. So if we don't feel like we have family to spend time with, who feels like family to you? Okay, who is around you that has that family vibe and can help and assist you and give you that nurture and make you feel that sense of security in your environment, right? Who can you approach to? So that's important too. And the full moon in Cancer is going to enhance that need to want to approach others, that need to want to approach someone who has that safety and security for you, who can be nurturing, right? Or can provide you that sense of comfortableness and coziness, right? That we all want during these times, during the time of the full moon in Cancer. So yeah, it doesn't have to be blood family. It can just be somebody who feels like family that you can approach, right? So the message is: feel sure of yourself. Find a balance between your need to achieve and your need for quality time at home. So spending more time at home, right? Forgive. So perform the full moon forgiveness ceremony and also perform the gratitude ceremony. So I think I mentioned and read about those two in my other full moon reading. So you can go to that one and listen to what the message is, right? So yeah, that's the full moon in Cancer. So pretty straightforward. It is a lovely message. I like these times. I like full moon in Cancer. It's like my home. It is where I can thrive a lot, right? So because that is in my birth chart, right? So I have both the sun and the moon are my home place, right? I am a Leo, but I have a strong Cancer sign. So when Leo is in the sun sign, if the sun is in Leo, I thrive a lot too in that area. So not just in the moon in Cancer. So it's both. All right, guys. So I'm gonna start your weekly readings. Okay. So, like always, I'm gonna use the Psychic Tarot for this deck. Okay. And I'm gonna pull out a card also from the Sacred Rebels. Yeah, I love this deck. I love the messages. What did we get before? I think it was Dance in the Rhythms of the Cosmos, I feel. So that was really interesting. I think I felt I was in tune with the rhythm of everything. And there's still like celestial changes happening, and there's still strong energy going around. So, and basically with this full moon in Cancer, it's like the fact that it's like the last full moon in the month of December of 2020 really is suggesting that, there will be like a birth of a new beginning for the year of 2021. Seeing that everything happened in this month of December, right, of 2020. The Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, right? entering into Aquarius at 0 degrees, 0 being a fresh new baby. So it's all suggesting that there's going to be like a birth, right? A birth of a new beginning, a birth of an era. And the fact that it's the moon in Cancer really suggests a motherly, maternal figure birthing the new baby, right? So it's very strong motherly energy, and birthing and new beginnings and babies. So that's all the strong archetypes I can talk about, or symbolisms that's happening for us right now, heading to 2021, because all this is happening at the end of the month, right? All these major celestial events happened at the end of December. So yeah, January is going to be big. Well, January and the following months are going to be big. 2021 is going to be big. So yeah. But it's also like, because it's so fragile and new, we have to constantly nurture this new beginning, nurture these new innovations, right? So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna also take some cards from the Witch's Tarot to see further into this reading. Okay, guys. So I'm just gonna shuffle the cards. I can already start feeling the energies of the full moon in Cancer. So much emotions blocking me. Feel a lot of blockages right now. Okay. Mostly emotional blockages. And that's what I feel. I think we may be going through that this week as well. As I'm shuffling the cards, I can sense that. Yeah, lots of emotions coming out of the surface. I feel it. Alright, so let's start for you guys at the beginning of the week. Starting us up today and so on. Okay, so looks like there is going to be some sort of offer being given to you guys, but it's almost as if you are not rejecting it, but kind of pushing it away for some reason. Probably afraid to accept this offer, emotional offer. So we have the Four of Cups, okay? And the Four of Cups usually suggests that, well, we're kind of dissatisfied with what we have around us, or certain opportunities being given to us. It's not really fulfilling us in that sense, or the approaches people approaching us, it cannot quite be the way we want to be approached, perhaps, as well, right? Because we are receiving this cup of love, this cup of gesture, of kindness and compassion, right? But we seem to be kind of pulling away. And I feel like I think we're pulling away because, one, we're afraid to get hurt, right? We don't want to be vulnerable, and we don't want to invest in something that cannot work out in the long run, right? Because we tend to invest so much energy into something, right? And so we tend to want to pull away. And so in the beginning of the week, we may be pulling away from interactions, from gestures from family members, perhaps, seeing that we are entering the moon in Cancer tomorrow night. We may probably be encountering people that we know from the past, or family members, or something that represents our home, right? But for some reason, we are kind of pulling away from that and kind of being reserved. I feel like there's more of a need to be on your own, a need to be within yourself, right? Instead of using that energy with other people, right? Giving the energy to others. So we are kind of pulling back at this time in the beginning of the week. I do see you guys pulling back a bit, and I do see you guys receiving opportunities, though. I don't feel like you guys are not going to be receiving this opportunity, because there is a lot of love, right? I know, I do see the waters there representing love, lots of love being given, opportunity, but it seems as if you're stuck here in the dark for some reason. Not in the dark, but in the shade, in your own world, whereas there's so much potential being given to you. There's so much light, but you're just hiding yourself in the shade, in the corner, in the dark. And this individual is in the light and is coming all the way to visit you in the dark and offering you the cup, right? So it's like the opportunity is there, and the opportunity for happiness and fulfillment is there, and you have people approaching, but it's something internal that you have to resolve within you in order to push yourself out there as well. And even though we have people reaching out to us, it depends on us, whether we want to push ourselves to go out. So, you can have support, but mostly it's us that needs to do that work to push ourselves mostly, right? And not to lose opportunities. When a hand reaches out, grab the hand because it can pull you out to somewhere much better and not stay in your own emotions, right? Because that's not leading you anywhere. And I feel like it's important during these times to accept assistance because that we are going through a lot of emotional um, situations during the full moon in Cancer because it can be very strong, right? Because anything that revolves around mother, nurture, and stability and security can really affect us if we don't have that, right? It can be such a strong energy, and it can be very, very painful. So it's important that we do have that kind of energy and safety around us. So that can be very healing. So don't dismiss opportunities, I feel, and accept a reaching, like if somebody's reaching out to you, accept that hand and see where it can lead you, right? So that's the message for the beginning of the week. Now, in the middle of the week, we have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is being determined in what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to build for yourself. There may be a lot of obstacles coming your way this week, right? And I feel like you could be going through a lot of emotional situations as well. But I feel like you're very determined in achieving your goal, very determined in proving your point. You have perhaps also a very strong opinion and determination. So you're not giving up on what you're trying to do. You may have people opposing you, going against what you're doing or giving you the obstacle of getting things done. So constantly needing to taking care of things, taking care, perhaps just a lot of responsibilities too can be in the way, a lot of errands to take care of, and these can really delay us, right? And maybe another obstacle comes in the way or another challenge comes in the way. So we tend to have these situations that kind of constantly delay us in achieving what we want to achieve, right? And I think I mentioned this last week too, is that it's going to be difficult during these times, especially because there's just so much going on right now in the celestial bodies. So we really can't do much about it. We just have to flow with it, right? And that was in the Wheel of Fortune last week, right? Where it's just all these things happening, and it's very hard for us to control the situation. And I feel like we're just gonna have to flow with it, right? And like I mentioned before, that if we flow with it, it can actually help us in the long run instead of it making things worse. Because sometimes when we want to control situations, I feels that as if we're, you know, it's going to work out, because sometimes when we control, we want certain things going our way, we feel that's going to be the only way to solve situations. But in reality, actually, we don't see the bigger picture of the situation, right? And we probably don't know what's going on uh, in a broader perspective. But they do, the higher realms do. So the reason why all these things and all these shifts are happening is probably something for you to help you out in the long run, and we're just not aware of that, right? It's just like, how is it going to help us really? Well, you can only find out in time. It sucks because we are limited by time and space in our dimension, but other realms are not limited by that. So they can see things ahead of time, they can see things in a broader perspective. So when we do receive certain obstacles and challenges and delays in what we're doing, know that it's for a higher purpose, right? And it's not to go against what you're doing, it's actually to help you out even more and to improve it. Actually, we just can't see it yet. We just have to wait it in time to see the results of why those things happen, right? So that's the message of this card. So you are going to feel a little bit challenged, but don't give up on what you're doing. Still be determined in what you're trying to achieve, right? But if you do receive certain obstacles, flow with it. Don't resist it, or don't go against the stream, right? Just flow with the stream and see where it can take you. Okay, so that's the message of the Seven of Wands. Now, in the end of the week, we have Justice. So justice is about resolving certain legal documents, resolving certain misunderstandings with others, communication. I feel like something to do with kind of creating harmony again, creating that balance again with other people. Okay, now if it's not that, then it is probably resolving certain legal situations, signing a contract perhaps, dealing with something regarding dealing with legal things, right? Maybe purchasing a home, or talking with a lawyer, or resolving something that can help you in the long run, or a miscommunication. So I feel like if you're not resolving certain legal situations, I feel like it could be just interactions with other people, miscommunications that you've had that you have to resolve, either with family members, right? Because we are entering, full moon in Cancer, and that does involve, dealing with your family a lot. And if there were certain conflicts and tension during this week, I feel like in the end of the week and around Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you guys are going to resolve that situation, okay, and that conflict as well. So there's going to be harmony again, and there's going to be communication, speaking about the situation, verbalizing it, expressing yourself, right? And kind of viewing the other person's point of view and the other person viewing your point of view. So it is kind of like handling things like in a courtroom, right? Except it doesn't have to be in a courtroom. It's basically dealing with family, right? And since the moon in Cancer is all about family issues, then yeah. And that could be also why you have the Seven of Wands as well, because Seven of Wands is about kind of having those conflicting ideas clash together, and kind of people opposing your ideas, and family members can have such a strong opinion, and it can really trigger a pain body in you, right? Trigger emotional situations, and that can cause arguments, and that can cause frustrations between everyone, right? And so I feel like in the end of the week, though, that those situations are going to be resolved and harmony is going to come back again, right? So situations that you may have dealt with in the middle of the week will be resolved at the end of the week, right? All right, so that was the message for you guys for this week. So I'm going to take a few cards now from the Psychic Tarot to get a little bit more information. Okay, let's see. Recognition and reward. I believe that's the Three of Pentacles. And deception and envy. Okay, so you guys have recognition and reward. So I believe this is the Three of Pentacles. And I feel like during this week, I feel like finally you're going to be earning the rewards of your hard labor. You're going to be working really hard this week, and I feel that's what the Seven of Wands is all about. Being determined in your goals and your achievements, right? And not giving up, even though we may encounter these obstacles. And, these obstacles can be caused by, like I said, astrological events, right? But because you're so determined, I feel like that's going to be very rewarding for you, because you will receive your reward, I feel, during the middle of the week. Okay, I feel like you're going to start to feel that things are progressing for you and what you're working really hard towards. And I feel like, this medal is being given to you as a form of reward. And the reward can come in many other different forms. It doesn't have to come in actually receiving a medal or receiving money, but perhaps getting recognition of your hard work, or, seeing that your hard work is finally paying off and you're starting to see the results of your hard work, So I feel like in whichever way or form, you're going to feel as if, you've earned the fruits of your labor this week, okay? And that you're going to kind of feel a little bit more in the spotlight, I feel, and kind of feeling like it's going to fuel you to keep on going, right? Even though you may be encountering these obstacles, right? But I feel like your skills are going to start to be recognized more, and your hard work will be rewarded, okay? Now we have also deception and envy. So this is the Seven of Swords. So there may be a little bit of dishonesty still happening, in this week, which perhaps will be resolved at the end of the week, right? Certain communications need to be out in the open, and now this can be in regards to your with family members, right? Kind of defending yourself in certain situations. Could be partnerships, relationships, kind of defending yourself from um, misunderstandings, like I said, right? That needs to be resolved, right? And so there will be a little bit more jealousy happening in the middle of the week, a little bit more insecurity, because the full moon in Cancer will enhance that sensation of feeling insecure. Like I said, there are positive parts about the full moon in Cancer, and there are negative parts about the full moon in Cancer. Cancerian energy brings forth, that safety and security in your home, right? And time to just be at home and enjoy the pleasures of being at home, right? Like cooking or baking or just having a good time with family at home, and lots of love and nurturing, right? And the negative parts of it can be feeling too dependent, right? Feeling too dependent on others, feeling too needy, and maybe perhaps even feeling more insecure, right? Because needing to feel emotionally insecure is going to be very important for you guys this week, right? So that can be why it can trigger a lot of feelings of deception and envy. So you may be a little bit more insecure in regards to your relationships, to your partnerships, right? Could be a little bit more envious, right? A little bit more jealous. And that's kind of like the vulnerability that the full moon in Cancer can also enhance during this week. So there's also positive traits and there's also negative traits that we need to learn to harmonize and balance this week. So that's also a little warning, and be mindful of that. Hi, RV. I'm doing great. Have you been enjoying this weekly reading? I'm going to be pulling out one more card for this week, full moon in Cancer. Okay. All right, so that was the messages for you guys. Let's take out one more card. Interesting. Okay, we have relax, the hold of darkness. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. So what do you feel with this card? What kind of energies do you feel this card means when you take a look at the symbolism of the cards? I do feel like as if she's being teleported somewhere. It reminds me of in Star Trek where you enter like this portal and then you like teleport to the planet and you arrive there. So it's kind of like similar to that, right? I feel like perhaps we are shifting into the fifth dimension as well. So we are changing and shifting ourselves, right? We are elevating as well. We are moving forward to something much more elevated and higher. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of energetic downloads being given down to us also, saying that we're now entering the age of Aquarius. We've entered it. And all these celestial situations and shifts happening, right? Yeah, it looks like she's beaming herself out somewhere. That's true. Beaming herself to the fifth dimension. That's what I think. Or can elevate your frequency and energy, or being given an opportunity to take you somewhere else, or shift yourself internally, like an awakening process perhaps. Yeah. So I feel like, yeah, that's what I feel. Probably realizing, the cause of what's happening. I kind of want to read what it's about. I'm not really familiar what this card means, but I kind of want to read it because it's very triggered. Like, I feel like it means something more though. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Happy belated birthday, Brandon. Did you have fun? Did you celebrate? I saw pictures of you celebrating, Brandon. Okay, so this is number 26. 26. Yeah, relax. Hold the darkness and be a cause. I'm gonna read it because I feel like there's gonna be more messages regarding this card if I read it. Merry Christmas, Brandon. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna read it a bit. I want to read the whole thing because it's pretty long. See, it's very long. So I'm just gonna read a little bit about it. Okay, so it's Dear Sacred Rebel. This moment in your life requires great courage. Fortunately, you possess that in bucket loads. You are being asked to allow yourself to be lifted out of one level of known reality and into the next level of higher voltage reality. There you go. Because it says being lifted out of this reality, right? Well, you're being asked. Yeah, you're being asked to allow yourself to be lifted out of one level of known reality, which is your current reality, and into the next level of a higher voltage reality. Isn't that kind of like shifting to the fifth dimension? Like, that's kind of like what it sounds like to me. So, like shifting your cells and energies, I don't know. So, higher voltage reality requires more absolute trust and a heart that is surrendered into the greater heart of the universe, so that life can happen to us, through us, and with us more quickly, more radically, more beautifully, and more boldly. You are now being invited into this new reality where things happen quickly and according to bold, loving optimism. This is a reality not only of potential, but of manifestation of the great big cosmic yes. To access this reality, you have to leap from known waters, and others may think you are crazy for doing so. And I relate that to the Seven of Wands, right? You're crazy of doing all these things you're doing, right? But you just have to prove them wrong. So you have to leave behind the dark, weighty grip of hesitation, procrastination, second guessing, and the belief you have to do everything on your own. You may fear your life. You may fear for your life. How will you be safe in the wild, electrical pulse of so much aliveness? How will you function without the hazy sleep-inducing paralysis of playing it safe, taking too long and placing lesser priorities above your sacred art of life? How will you hold yourself back if you don't hold on to fear? You do not need to worry about such things. Life is wild, but it is also wise. It is a force of startling, raw awakening at times, but it is also the natural process of evolution, where all things mature according to a seasonal cycle. In right timing, you are part of, not apart from, that process. So yeah, I mean, what I relate, yeah, what I relate it to is that we're going through really strong shifts right now. Things are changing. Our cells are changing. We're going through DNA awakening. We're raising our vibrations higher. We're being taken to a new reality, right? So we're birthing something with the full moon in Cancer. The mother herself is birthing a new baby in 0 degrees in Aquarius. So it's like all these new beginnings and all these things are going to start accelerating much more quickly, right? And I think it's starting to take effect now, and you're going to start to see how things are going to start to shift very fast, and as if like you're beaming into somewhere new. You're beaming into a new reality, a higher frequency or a higher dimension. And it's very hard to explain this shift, but I feel like it's just I can feel it, but it's just very hard to express it with words. But just things are gonna just start to shift very quickly. And what do you guys think? The card meant for you guys as well. So I do feel like as she's was connecting to her inner core, see how she's like naked, it's just kind of vulnerable, kind of allowing herself to be who she is, right? And tuning into the earth. It's helping her also to transform herself internally. And that's also kind of help her shift into somewhere different, elevate herself more closer to the light, perhaps. Who knows, right? Maybe taking ayahuasca. And that's gonna elevate her energies to a much higher state as well. Or something similar to ayahuasca, I don't know. But yeah, that's the message for today for you guys for this full moon in Cancer. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment below. And I'll try to get to you guys as soon as I can. All right? Yes, Merry Christmas, Brandon. Oh, so many stars. Yes, the Star of Bethlehem. With the super Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. See, I cannot talk today. It's definitely the full moon in Cancer. Has affected me a lot. So, but yeah, guys. So, hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys again soon for my next reading. I'm gonna start doing the. I think I'll start tomorrow doing the readings for January now for 2021. Oh my gosh. So I'm not going to do the love readings anymore. I'm not going to do those anymore. Too much work. I have so many other things to do, but I will continue with the readings, the monthly readings for January for all the signs. Okay, so look forward for that. Okay, and I'll see you guys. Okay, all right, guys. Bye, Brendan. Bye, Kevin. Bye. All right, peace, guys. See you.